Greetings everyone, this is Mr. Mull. In this video I'm going to show you how to gain access to your AP Physics textbook. In order to do this, you're going to need the access code that you copied down from class. You're also going to need to punch into a browser pearsonschool.com/access. pearsonschool.com/access. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to bring me up to a web page that looks like this. And what you need to do is enter the first 6 digits of your access code. Once you enter those in, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. You're going to click on Covered Titles. You're going to go to Science, go down to Night with a K, and College Physics 3rd edition. You should see a little dewdrop type book here. We're going to click on Student Registration. After you go through and read these very thoroughly, you're going to click Accept, and it's going to bring you to this web page here. Now on this website here it says, do you have a Pearson Education account? Whether you have one or not, I want you to press No. And you're going to create a login name that's unique. Now, in order to make a unique login name, I recommend anyone who's never used a Pearson product before, just use your school email as your login name. It'll be very easy to remember, your school email. If you've made a Pearson product before and you've done like Mastering Biology or something, and you've used an online textbook through Pearson in the science department, you're going to need to create a unique login name other than your school email. And so go ahead and create a login name, create a password, retype it in, and once you have a login name that's available, you're going to punch your access code in and click Next. When you get to the next screen, you're going to have a bunch of information to fill out about yourself and about our class. At some point, you're going to have to enter in our class ID, our course ID. It's going to be MAUL. I better put that someplace so you can see it. MAUL AP1 is our course ID. So obviously I'm not going to put it here, but at some point you're going to have to put our course ID in to log you into the course. So you're going to go through using your school email address. When you click Next, it's going to have a place for you to put your email, and you're going to need to use your school email address. It's the only one that we have registered your access codes to. So once you have that information, eventually you should get into a place where you can log in. Now if you're having trouble logging in, it's possible you need to do a browser check. So if you go to masteringphysics.com, something is still happening wrong. Even though you're not going to register through this portal, if you click on masteringphysics.com and go to Student Register Now, there should be at the very bottom a link to check your browser now. And when you click on that link, it'll bring up some options for things that you could do to fix this. If you notice at the top right, there's this little thing up here, pop-ups were blocked on this page. And so, if you ever see a website that needs a pop-up, you can always allow it for that one there. Or if you want to go in and click on pop-up blocks, it'll actually give you a tutorial to figure out how to get rid of those pop-up blockers depending on the browser you're using. Either way, eventually you should be getting into a student access. So you're going to log into masteringphysics.com. Once you have everything, you can sign in. masteringphysics.com, you're going to sign in using your school email or the unique username that you came up with if you've already used the site before. And you should enter into something that looks like this. Now if you haven't added our course ID, it should prompt you to add a course. You can even click on My Courses and join a course. Our course ID, as you can see at the top, is MAUL AP1, and that will give you our course. So once you get to our course, you'll see various assignments, that kind of thing, once we start getting into assignments. But you also notice this e-text. So I'm going to click on e-text. And once you get the textbooks, you're going to have to play around with how you're going to view this. What I like to do is I like to set my tablet down when the e-text loads up. And I like to do a couple things. I like to go full screen mode with whatever browser I have. So I like to go, I'm going to click on Part 1, Forces of Motion. So here's Part 1. I'm going to click on full screen mode first off. So now I can see this full screen mode. The next thing I like to do is I like to click on this thing here. It says 2-page view. So I can see both pages at once. I also like to turn on the projector mode, switch to whiteboard view. What this does is it just gets all these little toolbars as far out of the way as possible. And now what I can do is I can see my textbook on there. Now this is too small to read, so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to click on the hand tool and I'm going to start zooming in. Now with the hand tool, I can click on my screen and I can actually drag around different parts of the screen. So as I'm reading, all kinds of cool stuff you can do here. You can use a highlighter, you can draw shapes, you can write notes to yourself, okay, using your stylus. I'm using a mouse right now. You can also change the page number. If you want to go back to the other view, you can click on Browse View, and if you click this thing here, you can start doing some other things, looking to other things. If you want to look through the textbook, you can use a search option. So like I say, what I would recommend is go in, and I like to view this where I've gone full screen and I use my little hand tool, and now I can start reading, and I can go to the next page. And we can start reading through the textbook as we're going through. And as you start reading this, you have your lab notebook handy so you can do outlines for this. Okay, this has just been a couple things you can do. Play around with the different options. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do on this. Highlighting tool, all this kind of stuff. So play around with this, and I hope that this was helpful.